All right. Today I got Spencer with me, and I was able to meet Spencer through our mutual friend Gordon. So thanks to him for connecting us. And you and I had a brief conversation. So yeah, right. I know. Let's give it out to Gordon, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
Gordon.
yeah. So we had a brief conversation, and I know a little bit about what Spencer's been doing, what he is going to do coming up. I know you have an event coming up and stuff, and we can dive in that later on. But would you mind just opening up and tell us more about yourself and what you are doing, and then we can figure out how you got to where you are.
Yeah, totally. I appreciate you asking. Shout out to Gordon. Thank you for connecting us. Appreciate you, brother. So about me, what do? I help people step into their light and shine bright, aka help them master their energy sovereignty so that they can live their life to the max. They sound like fun catchphrases, and that's well because they are fun catchphrases. But also, I've just personally, I've been an experience in my life where I felt drained, exhausted, frustrated, didn't like who I was or where I was going in life, and finally took action and started to realize, hey, I love me for me, and who I am. Let my true light shine and embrace it and shine it out to the world, and then now help others do the same, right? Embrace your light and shine bright. And it's been a beautiful, not only business, but a beautiful thing to see people do and to experience. It's truly second to none.
Yeah, I bet it's very rewarding to see people do a whole 360 if you want to call it, right? And come out better on the other side.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%. It's incredible. And I experienced it myself, but then also to see and help guide and facilitate other people in doing that is truly transformational. And we're not just one-on-one, like we do one-on-one work to a degree, but then we have a bigger mission of helping a billion people, like what we see our community, we call our community the Energizers, as a worldwide community. We want to help a billion people. It's a huge number, but we seriously see this being something where we could change positivity, the mindset of people all around the world, and really influence the energy, because I'm a big energy guy, energizers, but change the energy in a positive way, felt all around the globe.
yeah, and everybody needs that right about now.
Right? We could all use them as some extra positivity and joy.
Absolutely. So I'm curious. You said you were frustrated, drained, and stuff back in the past. So let's go back to wherever you want to begin and dive into what it was like that had you frustrated, drained, and any other words you had to use. And then what did you do to come out of that? We can figure that all out.
Well, thank you for asking. I will say this is going to sound short and kind of succinct, and it'll be a longer story, but it didn't happen as fast as I'm going to say it. Let's just put it that way. So for me, the nickname, so one of my nicknames that people have given me now is the Prince of Positivity, but I was not always the Prince of Positivity. Before I met my wife, we've been married now 17 years. Her nickname for me, again, before we met, was Ego Man. And, well, it was a very accurate nickname because I had a huge ego, like ego the size of Texas. I could barely fit through a doorway. And I kept trying to prove who I was. And that ego was feeding into that and trying to prove that I was worthy, that I was enough, kept fueled Ego Man, right? So it was like this vicious cycle. And so I let myself make decisions and choices in my life that continue to fuel that spiral. And those choices led me to do stupid things, crazy things, things that hurt me and my family, but also was draining and exhausting, right? Like it drained me because there was these energy vampires that I was surrounding myself with who were draining my energy, not just people, but places, things, thoughts, beliefs, etc., that were draining my energy and not allowing me to be fully me. So it was just a cycle of, okay, what can I do to fill this void I feel inside, this emptiness, of being worthy, being enough, and trying this, that, the other thing and everything, and making stupid choices that, how life is. You're like, I got this, and I keep going and going and going and going. The life checks you. And, sometimes that's enough for people. Well, it wasn't for me. I needed a couple 2x4s. So like, oh, life checked me. Then, all right, now I got this, whatever. Ego Man, right? So let's keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, it's not life checked me. Now I got this. and again and again, until, life kicked out the pedestal I built myself up on, that paper mache one, and it kicked it out from underneath me, and I came crashing down hard. I made some seriously stupid choices in my life that really hurt me, hurt my family, relationships, friendships. It was the worst time in my life. I hit my true rock bottom when life did that. And I realized that I did it to myself by making those choices, right? Life was just doing what life does. But at that point, when I was at rock bottom, I felt cold, exhausted, drained, frustrated, angry, mad, upset at myself, upset at the world, and really hated who I was as a person, where I was going, what I was doing. Did not like me, for me. Suicide was an option. I contemplated 2 ways of committing suicide. Didn't follow through, obviously, but it hit hard, and it was an extremely tough, brutal time in my life. And I was doing personal growth and development at the time, which I think's kind of hilarious, right? I'm here at my rock bottom, but I was doing this personal growth stuff. And what I realized is, I had some of the tools and I was doing some of the work, but I never let it sink deep enough. So I still felt that void, right? I only let it get surface level. And so none of it really stuck too hard or too deep until I had that rock bottom. And then, now the good part about rock bottom is you have a base. You're finally a solid foundation of which to build. So for me, that rock bottom then provided me, okay, let's look at me, let's reflect, let's learn, let's grow. I saw a therapist and continued to, I got reinforced with some of the tools and strategies I already knew, and I started implementing those. He offered different ones, new ones, suggestions, and improvements for the other ones to really help me learn, grow, and heal. And what I realized in that whole process is, besides hating who I was, I realized I didn't think I was worthy. I was enough. Just, I had all these exceptions, qualifications to feel worthy and enough. And I needed to heal that. That was a void I was feeling inside. That was the thing I was trying to chase all the time, was trying to fill that void of feeling worthy, feeling like I was enough, trying to prove myself by doing all the stupid things, chasing all the wrong things, and not loving me for me. And so once I realized, that's what's going on, I started changing and putting my affirmations, I am worthy, I am enough, and continuing along that journey and working at healing, working at forgiving myself, forgiving others, doing the healing work, the inner work inside. It took time. It wasn't a flip of the switch, but I'll tell you, it made a drastic shift when I realized that and I started to work on that, because then I could start to really build these building blocks. So say, no, I am worthy, I'm enough. But I'll tell you, I did not feel that way. Like, I could say those words, but man, I did not buy into it 100%. I tried to, right? But I couldn't, it wasn't there yet. And it wasn't there until almost 2 years later, when finally it really hit and sunk in, like this moment of absolute clarity and bliss where I'm like, no, I am worthy. I am enough, regardless of the mistakes I've made. And I made stupid mistakes, right? I made stupid choices. Regardless of that, I am worthy. I'm enough. And I can learn and grow and shine my light. And at this point, I was already helping people because I saw such a vast improvement within myself. But then when this hit, it's like the lights, 10 times as bright. And it was so incredible, so freeing, so energizing to have that. And then, it disappeared for a little bit, and then it came back, then disappeared, and then it came back, and it came back longer, and to now where it's a point where, I'm me, I love me in a healthy, non-egotistical way, and I am worthy, that I am enough. And I've developed and learned tools, strategies that I've helped myself do that, and then started teaching and sharing those with other people, and have built our company, the Jones and Four, around helping others do the same, and realizing it's a journey. We're all on our own pathways, but we can all utilize a lot of the same tools to help one another out, and then build it out from there. So now we have a network of people, because you might learn great from me or not. Maybe you'll work great with Katie or with Allegra or with Steve or whoever. So why not build this community to support you on the journey, to love you with zero judgment, all the support, and just help you be at your best. And so, because that's what I needed, and I didn't have it, so I built it, and then saw other people who needed that, and just brought them into the fold. And that's where we get our Energizer family, and it's truly, truly incredible and freeing.
Yeah, that that was a great journey, story part, whatever you want to call it. Right? I call it a journey because your story's not over yet.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it. So I was going to ask you a few questions, but you answered them for me. So you did, yeah. So you didn't have the support. You had a therapist and stuff, and they guided you along the way a little bit there. But you were on your own, right? For the most part, were you trying to figure it out by yourself?
Yes and no. Like, I mean, I had the therapist to help, and I was really lucky and blessed that my wife was there by my side, supporting me, encouraging me and just holding space and being there for me, right? Um, and and one other family member who was really there for me. I was lucky that I had some friends who I could lean on and call for support, right? But I didn't necessarily have this big network or know-how of stuff. So what did I do? I had my therapist to help, but then I read books and listened to podcasts and read websites and blogs and experimented with different things and seeing what worked, what didn't work for me. It works for some people, but it did or did not work for me, and really build the habits and routines to help me be at my best.
Yeah. So what kind of routines did you build?
Great question. So for me, I found that having a really solid morning routine helps me be at my best throughout every and any day. And it's really the intention I put behind it, as I've discovered just in the last couple of months, that has really made the difference. So my morning routine is this. I wake up, brush my teeth, and then I have a home gym in my basement. So I go downstairs, but before I work out, I do three things. I write down my gratitudes. So I'm thinking about what am I grateful for, and I write down three things every morning, at least three things, sometimes more. And I try not to repeat a single one for an entire week. It's not that I'm not grateful for it. I just keep trying to find different ones. So I write my gratitudes, I write my affirmations, and I say my affirmations. I journal, and then I work out. And so the workout could be, lifting weights. It could be cardio. It could be yoga. It could be something along those lines. And then there's usually meditation towards the end of some type, whether it's during the workout or like a seated meditation or something else. Nothing terribly long usually. And then I go upstairs, shower, get ready for my day. And sometimes my meditation doesn't happen right after that workout, but if it doesn't there, I do it before my day really gets going. Like, so I'll go shower, get set, but then before I start my work day, I usually meditate, and that could be breath work, sitting meditation, or something just to center myself, bring in that joy, that love into my heart again, and really connect with that, and then continue on with the day.
Awesome. Yeah. So which one would you say is the best one that you found to help you?
Oh man. I will say I didn't do all of them at once. I didn't go like 0 to 100, right? I started with working out, then I started adding journaling, and then gratitudes and affirmation. So I build up to it. Man, they're all so important to me. I would say journaling might be one of the better ones. It takes a little bit more weight. The reason for that is, it's so hard. I love gratitudes too. Like that might be it. I don't know. They're so close. I don't know if I can really decide. The reason for that is, so I love positivity, obviously, creating a positive abundant mindset. So gratitudes, if you look and find your gratitudes, it helps you cultivate a gratitude mindset. It helps you create and reinforce positive neural pathways in your brain to help you find and see more positives. That's one great way to do it. One way to do that is do it faster is the narrative you tell yourself and others. So is it a positive narrative or is it a negative narrative? Well, journaling helps me continue that narrative and find positives. So for me, and journaling looked different for me over the years, right? I struggled journaling for the longest time. And once I finally got into it and stuck with it, it was just bullet points. Like it was a couple sentences, right? Just bullet points like, this is my thought. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what's going on. Done. 3, 4, maybe 5 sentences as bullet points, and not even full sentences, just bullet points. Great. And then it got to be maybe about a paragraph. I just naturally kind of fell into a narrative kind of paragraph long thing. And then I hit my rock bottom. And then it was like overnight, it went from paragraph to pages, like 2, 3, 4 pages long every day, for months. Sometimes it was 2 pages, but usually 3 or 4. And then over time, it slowly shortened up back to about a page. And now I'm somewhere between a half a page and a page a day. And it's me reflecting on yesterday, looking forward to the day, processing thoughts or emotions, things that I'm thinking or feeling, and just doing it that way. But remember, if you journal, there's no wrong way to do it. Just sit down and write, whether it's reflections, sharing your thoughts or feelings or ideas that's passing through, there's nothing wrong. But if you're writing a positive positive narrative, if you're writing that and sharing that positive narrative with others and yourself, you're going to create the positive neural pathways faster.
Mm. Yeah. And, I asked you that question because I was curious, because I would have a hard time, figuring out which one is my favorite as well.
I couldn't decide. Which one would you choose?
I like writing what I'm grateful for, to be honest with you. I really do.
Okay.
And it doesn't take long. And, and it could be just as simple as the sun coming up or you woke up again, right? You should be grateful for that. So it could be so simple. And it's just, I do the same thing, 3 things, right? And it doesn't take long. And that's something I do, after I get out of bed, I'll have a cup of coffee and stuff, and then I'll do all my things. Yeah.
Like we have, so in our Facebook group, the Energy Hub, we do a 5-day positivity challenge every couple months. And so guaranteed at the first challenge, so I'm ruining it if any of you join us, but the first challenge we always do is write your gratitudes. For the 5 days, write down 3 things you're grateful for. And we've done this challenge over 100 times. And almost every time we get a person who's in it who says, I really struggled to find gratitudes at first. That first day was really rough. But by the end of the 5 days, I found, 5, 6, 7, 10 or more easily. And it's incredible what happens when you start finding your gratitude. So don't wait for the 5-day positivity challenge. Get started. Look for your gratitudes, even if it's difficult, and write them down and keep searching and looking for them, because they're there. I promise you there's an abundance of positivity in the world.
Absolutely. That's a good challenge to take. I would like to back that one up a little bit. I heard something a long time ago, try wake up and start saying thank you. Basically you're alive again, right? It took me a while just to do that. It took a long time, but now it's every morning, and even before bed. That's a game changer for myself, and I would challenge anybody to try just that. It's just remember the words, remember to take the action and change your life a little bit.
Well, and if I could add on to that,
yeah, absolutely,
extra just awareness thing, whether it's gratitudes or saying thank you, and that's a beautiful one. I go into doing that one, and then I get out of it, then I do it, and I'm out of it. I need to remember to do that one more often, because it's such a great way just to continue to build that positive narrative. But the thing I want to share is, whether it's with that or really anything, remember your intention about doing it, because as soon as it becomes a habit that you're not intentional with, that it's just rote, it's just something you do, well, then it loses not all of its energy, but it loses a lot of its energy, right? I remember I grew up Catholic, and we would always say a prayer before every meal, right? Nothing good or bad if you do it, like awesome. But for me, especially as a kid, man, I could say that prayer without thinking, right? And just spit it out, rattle it off super fast and not know what the heck. I mean, if I sat and thought about it, I could think about what I was saying, but I rarely sat and thought about it, right? I just, okay, let's see. It didn't mean anything. So it lost a lot of its meaning, like I would say almost all of it, meaning and message and depth to it. So if you find that happening with you, not just John, but everybody listening, right, of anything you're doing, whether it's a prayer, whether it's your gratitudes or saying thank you or saying I love you to a spouse, to your kids, take some time and just be present with it when you say it, and just give it some thought or give it some energy with it in the here and now. And you'll notice how that shifts within you, and the other person, if you're saying it to another person, may or may not feel it. But regardless, you feel it deeper and it hits you more when you're present and being very intentional with it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, your emotions, you want to emotionally feel it. Yeah, I love it. So I don't know what this was, your time frame from when you hit rock bottom to coming out. What would you say the time frame kind of been?
Ugh, my rock bottom, let's see, to like the full acceptance and full of me just
Yeah,
like
we're at the
life.
moment. Yeah. How long did it take, for you? Because it's
Yep.
different for everybody, right?
Yeah, different for everyone, and we're all on our different journeys. So don't compare.
Right.
It's just awareness. From my rock bottom to the point where I could truly say, without a doubt, that I'm worthy, I'm enough, without feeling like I'm lying to myself or anything like that, was about 2 years. From there, maybe 2.5. So I mean, it took me time, but the good news is, I wasn't in misery or in frustration or anger that entire time. Obviously, it was harder at first when I was at rock bottom, but then I started to climb out. Climbing being I was doing the work, working to forgive myself and heal and do the things that had better and better and better days. Now, just like on our journey, right? I love the word journey. So we go for the summits, but on this journey to those summits, and summits are hot, all the time. Like we reach different ones, but on this journey we have summits, but we also have valleys. And sometimes those valleys are really low and dark and long. Other times they're not as deep or long, or they're shorter and all that. So for me at first, I had more rough days than good days, right? Especially at first. I had more rough days where I was beating myself up. I was frustrated. I was angry. I was struggling. A lot of guilt, a lot of shame for a lot at first. And then over time, that got less and less and less to maybe 50-50, some good days, some bad days. And then there was streaks where I was doing well. Like I remember when I was like, I would just love to have one day where I'm not beating myself up. Like I would love that. I remember those days. And then you fast forward, like, oh, holy crap, I've had 2 good days in a row. Like, this is awesome. And then, you get some low days. But then let's fast forward a little bit more where, okay, now I'm getting more good days. So much so that, okay, I have a low day. Oh, my God, that low day. But that low day took me out for 3 days. I was in a funk, right? Oh, okay. But we get out. Okay. We're good. We're back on a good streak. Then it's, a low streak for 1 day or a couple hours. And there are sometimes those low days are not as deep, not as dark, not as long, but life's a journey. So there'll be times when you will be knocked harder and, it hits you harder and deeper. It may take longer than times before, but know that that's bound to happen at points, but it's not going to last forever. That keeps getting better. So it's not like over those 2 years I was in a funk and then like a light switch turned on, right? All of a sudden, yeah, I'm having a good day 2 years later. No, there's a lot of good days leading up to it, a lot. And even, I would say for the solid year, 8 months to a year before that, I was having the majority of my days were good. Like majority of the days were feeling really good, feeling alive, feeling like I'm positive and loving it. I just I wasn't at the point yet where I fully believed in it. And now saying that was, I could do math, like a year and a half ago, something like that, right? That I experienced that in my life from when we're recording this. And so I would say just over 6 months ago, I finally had the epiphany, the point in my life, which I've been hoping for and waiting for, is, yeah, I messed up before, but I can look at that moment and be truly grateful for it. As much as it hurt other people and other people and myself, I can look at it and say, I would not be the person I am today without it. And be truly, not just say it. I could have said it before. Man, it was hard for me to buy into it, but now finally I'm able to be like, oh yeah, I am. And it happened for like 20 minutes. Like it was amazing. Like, yes, this is incredible. And then, not so much, 30 minutes after that. And okay, cool. But I know it's going to come back, right? So just like the other things that happen more and more and more. And that's what's happened now. 6 months later, it's more and more and more and more. It's not an everyday thing yet, but it sure is a heck of a lot closer. We're pretty close to being 24/7 of being in full love and gratitude towards it. And I know, because life's a journey, there's going to be days, even when I might be rocking this way, feeling this way for 6 months, a year, that I might get a day or an hour or two knocked out of it. Okay, well, we'll come back to it. So hopefully that answered your question. I know I talk a lot and I go off on weird side tangents, so I apologize, but thank you for letting me just ramble on.
No, you're great. And you just went right into like what I was going to say. Like, did you learn any like did you accept them as lessons of stuff that you learned along the way, right? And you exactly said that. And I also I take it as I'm thankful for my struggles, right? And so that's how I word it. But the same thing, you know.
Thanks.
And so we all can look at that as an opportunity, to learn from whatever struggles we're going through, and we can overcome that and be so much better on the other side.
And
So
you
yeah,
can. It's not always easy. It's not always going to be fun, but it is possible. And let me tell you, it is 100% worth it. As a person who has done it, who has felt it, it's 100% worth it. And I'm not special. Like I'm no one special. Sorry, John, you're no one special when it comes to this. Anyone can do it, but you have to be willing to commit to it and step into it. And it's truly amazing. And you have John, you have me, you have other people around you. You have our Energizer community anytime you want, ready to surround you and lift you up, because you can do it and know that you are worthy. You are enough to have it and experience it. And it's incredible.
yeah. And I'll just add on to that real quick. You are worthy. You are enough, just like you said, and that you can overcome anything. You just got to put in the work a little bit, So you were put on Earth here for a reason, and it wasn't to get knocked down and stay down. It's to get knocked down and come back out of it. So yeah, so your Energizer team buddy, what I keep thinking Energizer buddy every time you say it. It's
I get it. We're very energetic people. Like I get it. We've been related to Energizer Bunny often, so it's okay.
all right. So what's the group like? What's the whole? What's it all about?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Well, we stick batteries in people's backs, so we clap around banging drums all day long. The ear's not required. Okay, maybe not. But really, what we do is the Energizer community. It's the people who we like to surround ourselves with. They're people who are on this journey, like you, who have faltered, who have made mistakes, who are learning and growing from them. They refuse to they refuse to stay down from it, right? And to learn, grow, overcome, to step into their light and shine bright. So our Energizers master their energy sovereignty, or they're working to do that, meaning that you have this beautiful energy inside you, like the Energizer Bunny, right? But we have things that drain us, energy vampires, people, places, things, thoughts, etc. We learn to become aware of them, to vanquish them, and how to plug into our infinite energy and stay energized like the Energizer Bunny, so that you can be you. You can have your light. You could feel alive, energized, fulfilled, have joy in your life 24/7, instead of, every great now and then, I'm really exhausted today or frustrated. Cool. Well, let's get it so you feel that positivity, the joy, the love all the time. And so that's what our Energizer family is all about, is helping, just being there to support, to encourage. It's a non-judgmental space. That's one thing we don't do, is we try not to judge ourselves or judge anybody else, because we're all on our own journey. Let's give ourselves grace, because we're all going to falter, and let's give other people grace as well. So it's truly a beautiful community. We are we're lucky and blessed to be a worldwide community. We have people literally all around the globe currently working on stepping into their light and being part of our family and helping supporting others. And we're looking at continuing to grow it so that we do things. I'm not meaning this as a pitch fest by any means, but like we have our energy hub. It's a community we have on Facebook. So that's where the Energizers meet, is the energy hub. Kind of makes sense, right? The hub for all this stuff. And then we help the Energizers do different things. We have like master classes. We have an online personal growth academy filled with trainings, not just from me, but from other experts, to help people step into their light, overcome those obstacles, reduce stress, etc., so that they could be energized. Plus, we do virtual and in-person events. Like our big one coming up this year is our summit. In September of 2024, we're going to Chicago for our Energizer Summit, where we have about 150 people learning, growing, celebrating, being together under one roof, and having a beautiful time getting energized and shining our light with others.
Awesome. So how does somebody connect with you or with your Energizer hub or whatever? What's the best way to reach out?
Best way would be hop in the Energy Hub on Facebook. Just search Energy Hub and join us there. It's a free group, so come join us. We have different things in that group. You can also send me a message on Facebook if you like. That's just look up Spencer Jones, and you should be able to find. There's a number of Spencer Joneses, but look, if you're in the Energy Hub, you'll see me in there, and then you can friend me. I love friending amazing people and getting to see you and know more what you're about. You can send me a message anytime. I'm here for you. If you're like, yeah, I don't do Facebook so much, but I want to check out, we're on all the platforms at Jonesinfor, Jonesinfor, and you can check out our website if that's your game. Cool. We're here for you. It's wearejonesinfor.com. So we are ARE Jonesinfor, Jonesinfor.com. And that has everything there for you, so you can see all the cool stuff we're about. We're here to serve you and help you, and help you step into your light and shine bright, right? You have that beautiful light. Stop hiding it. Let's help it shine.
That's right. I like it. All right. Awesome. So I have one question for you then, and it's, what are 3 key things you've learned and used along your journey?
Ooh. 3 things I've learned and have used on my journey. All right. First one, we've already talked about it, gratitudes.
Yeah.
Have a gratitude practice. And I'll add on to that, one thing that I really love to do is at the beginning of the day, write 3 gratitudes, 3 things I'm grateful for every morning. But then at the end of the day, reflect on it and just think, or write them down, 2 amazing things that happened, right? So have that gratitude habit, that ritual practice that you do. That's one of them. Second, have amazing people around you. People who are in alignment with you, right? I was surrounding myself with all the wrong people for way too long. People who not only drained me, but were steering me in different directions than my purpose, right? And once I realized what my purpose and priorities and values were and all that, my vision, then I can start surrounding myself with those people. So the value of community and people who you surround yourself is huge, and that's been a game changer. The second thing, or third thing, so we have gratitudes, we have community, and the third thing would be taking care of me, taking time for me, that self-care, take care of my physical self, take care of my mental self, and just really, really be there for me so my cup can be full, and like mastering your energy sovereignty, but do those things for you so that you can continue to give to others, because you can't give from an empty cup. So take the time for the self-care, right? Whether it's a workout, meditation, reading, going to events, whatever, take that time for you, because you are worth it. And that, once I really made that a priority, it helped me be at my best.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how long that time frame is going to be. So it could have been your 2 years, could have been 1 year, could have been whatever, as long as you keep moving forward. Spencer, I appreciate you sharing your journey in life and, everything you had to share about being energized and ready to go for the community out there. So thank you. I appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and it's such an honor to be here and just shine my light with you and everybody here. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for shining your light and allowing me to be part of your journey. I appreciate it. If I could just leave with this one comment, is remember that you, everybody listening, you are amazing. You are worthy. You are enough just the way you are. No matter what has happened before, you are awesome. So step into that light and shine.
Love it. Thanks.